Grace and Peace Rooted Collective, welcome back to Awakened and Rooted, where the veil is thin, the vibes are deep, and the stories will make you question everything. So, if you are into the mystical, the metaphysical, or the downright unexplainable, you are in the right place. So, let's get started.
I want it to be over and done with. I do. I'm tired, boss. Tired of being on the road, alone as a sparrow in the rain. I'm tired of never having anybody to be with, to tell me where we was going to, coming from, why. Mostly I'm tired of people being ugly to each
That was from the Green Mile. If you can relate to that, please let me know about that in the comments.
Many believe that spiritual living is the path to an easy life. It is not. Spirituality is not the way out of your problems. Spirituality is the way into them. And spiritual living can open up a can of worms, Ashe. But it's supposed to. Because our programming, our DNA code has a variety of debris that stops us from living our best life. So before the burden gets easy and before the yoke is light, you must go down into the deep. You must go into the shadows. You must pull out everything out of your code that stops you from being everything that you want to be. You must go down into your DNA code and draw out all of the fear. And that shit ain't easy. Our ancestors called it Christ Mass, meaning the rising of Ka is messy and you need a little help. Spiritual living is transformational living. And if you are ready to get out of the matrix, if you are ready to tap into your ancestral trauma, if you are ready to clear out your DNA code so that you can become the true spiritual being that you are, you might need some assistance. Link in bio.
So, agreed with spirituality, you do have to dig deep into those shadows. I think I have only just begun to dig, and there is a lot more work to do, definitely.
One thing to keep in mind about awakening is this. When you are in your dormant state, or quote-unquote normal state, which is what most human beings experience, certain energy centers of your body, or certain, shall we say, centers of your body, are being underutilized. It's like a path where nobody walks. The path still exists, but there's no traffic there. As you're going through your awakening journey, certain pathways become activated. Now there is traffic on those pathways. So certain upgrades have to happen, right? Because if you are all of a sudden, a particular energy center is starting to fire up on all cylinders, whereas there was no activity there before, your physical body is going to have to catch up to that activity. That very often, on the physical level, translates as a certain level of discomfort, tingling, or even pain.
So, I did want to say that with spiritual awakening, you have physical, emotional, and sort of mental pain, I want to say. And I tried to grab a variety of videos that would like show you the different aspects of the pain that you experience with awakening.
I think the reason why most of us suffer is so that through our pain, people can learn the lessons that they need to learn. So it's safe to say that we've gone through hell and back so that we can guide others through it. We went through it alone for a reason because we have the tools within to guide us. So we suffer so that others may feel less alone in this journey. And I think in the end, pressure makes diamonds.
They cut her off, and I hate that. Pressure makes diamonds for sure. That's what she was saying. But to be completely honest and transparent, I feel like in these last few years, I have never been one who had any problem with depression, but in these last couple of years, I've had depression, I've had anxiety. Granted, I am postmenopausal, but I've been postmenopausal for years and hadn't experienced any of this until these last couple of years. I want to say since 2023 in December, so the last couple of years, almost couple of years.
During a spiritual death and rebirth phase, when you are feeling ascension symptoms, these will impact on the physical body, and it's really important to actually highlight where in the body you're feeling this and how it is affecting you. For example, the most recent energy during the October Scorpio new moon, I've had a lot of pressure in my neck, shoulders, and head region. Head meaning that overexhausted, there's a lot of thoughts going on, unable to process. Neck and shoulders, it feels like I'm holding the weight of the world on my shoulders. So think of it like things like that. I personally also get a lot of flare-up skin conditions. I suffer from eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis, everything that you can think of, but they always are associated with a deeper emotion, an emotion that is suppressed within my body that I haven't actually processed as of yet. I could run through a million examples when it comes to flare-ups of skin conditions from personal experience, but the one example that I will use is when I do get a flare-up across my neck here. That usually means that is a blockage in my throat chakra. It's something that I haven't expressed, an emotion that I haven't expressed, that I haven't used my voice and spoken up for something that I have believed in. So remember, whenever you are feeling physical symptoms associated with ascension, it usually does have a deeper meaning. It usually means that there is something within your body that you need to process or move through, release, something along those lines.
So what I get from that is when you have those physical symptoms, pay attention to what's going on in your life, what's going on around you. If something is causing you stress, pay attention to what's happening.
So why do you get sick when you are ascending or when you are having ascension? Now, one of the big spiritual ascension symptoms is body illness. And this often happens when your body is actually changing. You are moving from one level of consciousness, which you have as a spirit or as the energetic being, but your physical container hasn't calibrated to that next level. Now, what you want to understand is that each frequency or each level of consciousness has its own frequency or energy. And as a result of having its own frequency or energy, in order for that consciousness to be held, because consciousness is held in this body, that body needs to be actually calibrating at that frequency or vibrating at that frequency. But most of the time when we are ascending, our body hasn't caught up to the level of consciousness that we are experiencing. So at times what happens is that when the body is calibrating to that newest frequency, there's actually a collapse, that initial collapse that happened. Almost like the ego dies when you actually awaken, right? That initial time when you realize, oh my God, I'm a spirit. The ego realize it's dissolving, so it starts fighting back, and this is where the grief and the pain and the dark night of the soul is. The same thing with the body. The body can kind of like try to calibrate, and that frequency is high, and therefore it comes back and it's in this mood of like trying to catch up, and now it has to release the things that are not in alignment to this higher frequency. It has to heal, it has to cells that have to go and all of that. So in this period when you are experiencing ascension symptoms that comes in the form of sickness, what you want to do is actually take care of yourself and to rest a lot, drink a lot of energy, and actually have a whole practice in my coaching where I actually give you exactly what to do when you are experiencing ascension symptom. Because when you can actually do these things, you accelerate the process, and this is why ascension can be accelerated. And of course, if you want more details, send me a DM or hit that plus button to subscribe. Go to my YouTube for longer content.
For what reason do I keep finding these videos where people are trying to like advertise their coaching practices? I mean, I got, and I hate to be like this, but I got what she was saying, But at the same time, at the end of it, she kind of mentioned her coaching practice, so that kind of tempered that down for me.
Are spiritual awakenings painful? I'm going to say it depends on your level of tolerance for pain and what type of pain you're talking about. I think that there's a lot of emotional ups and downs to it, and that once you wake up that first time, you never stop waking up. Like, as you evolve spiritually, you have reawakenings and your perspective changes and everything else around you starts to change. And, that's why some people become vegetarians or vegans or whatever, because you're continually going to new levels of awakening. So to answer the question, yes, it is painful because you lose a lot of people. You stop identifying with your old self, so it makes it hard to recognize the newer version of you. So some people would call that an ego death. You lose a lot more friends, so you end up alone and you feel alone, like no one understands you. But just remember, pressure makes diamonds. Pain is the way to enlightenment.
So she was the one that mentioned before that pressure makes diamonds. I like her Sweetness XX3 on TikTok. I think I'm going to subscribe to her channel. To follow her on TikTok. I have said this in a video before, but I am not somebody who has always had like this large group of friends anyway. And I think that's just always been like who I am. Like, I don't call everybody my friend. So I don't feel myself pulling away from too many people. I don't consider everybody my friend. That's just what it is. They're associates. And I do find myself wanting to be alone more, which is why I have this space here. I can close the door if I want. My husband understands that. He'll tease me, but he understands that, like, I just need time to myself sometimes, and that is okay. That is okay.
Hey guys, and you're back with the Queen, and I'm going to talk about this time some physical changes that happen to the body during spiritual awakening. I am sorry and I apologize, guys, but these videos are triggering, and I'm going to tell you some ugly truths that you may not want to hear, but you could be going through. It's going to help you. First off, we talked about the muscle spasms. You will go through physical body change. We've already talked about the shitting and stuff like that, but let's talk about these sore throat situations. Let's talk about these cramps. Let's talk about getting hoarse or feeling like something is in your throat and trying to crawl out. We talked about that stuff coming out your mouth. Let's talk about when it feels like you got hit by a truck and you can't get out the bed for months. Sometimes a damn near a year or years. Let's talk about how sensitive you get in paranormal environments. You can't go to the hospitals and stuff like you used to because you can't be in crowded places like you normally would. You were extrovert, now you're introvert. You was an introvert, now you're extrovert. Your menstrual cycle can get affected. Mood swings will start flowing with the elements of the world, like the moon cycles. Your body and who you are start to get drawn to the elements that you're basically most prone to. Say if you're a Pisces, you'll be drawn to animals start acting strange around you.
I don't have animals acting strange around me. Mood swings, yes. How about when you cough all the time? Is there something going on, like something that you need to get out? Because I cough for no reason at all.
Here's why it hurts so much when you start awakening. See, nobody really tells you that spiritually awakening is going to bring up every single thing that you ever tried to consciously or unconsciously bury. Because you can't take unhealed pain into your next timeline. So the tears, the triggers, and all of those really uncomfortable moments that I know a lot of you are going through, because I have experienced them, and I know that there's more to come because you just continuously are being cracked open, right? But those moments, those tears and triggers, that is literally your soul clearing in the most sacred way, clearing space for your truest self to embody, to take up that space so that you can receive everything that you are desiring, so that you can make space for the new you, for the true you. So just remember and take this from this video. Spiritual awakening is emotional healing. So when you find yourself crying for no reason, when you find yourself feeling like you just cannot go any further, Just know you're not broken. You are remembering, and all is well. I send you peace.
Peace, girl. That explains a lot. And I don't know if I told you all that story before of the time when I was in the car on the way to work and just like burst into tears for no reason at all. Like, for what reason am I crying? I only woke up like about an hour ago. Why am I crying? But this video makes that make sense for me. Y'all, and excuse the swelling. I know I said that in another video, but we are still trying to recover from this situation. And it is still just a little painful. Not painful, but a little bit uncomfortable to talk. But listen, I am with you all. I am learning right along with you all, and I enjoy doing these videos, so I am going to do them, pain or not.
What if I told you that what you are going through right now is a setup for your best season? Even though the pain feels so unbearable, even though every corner that you're turning, you don't know which way to go. But what if I told you that it's about to be big, like for real? What if I told you that everything that God is using right now, it is working for your good, even though it feels like it's so bad? What if I told you? What if I told you that God himself was allowing them to leave and isolation was being permitted, so when the season comes for those that didn't labor to eat at your table? What if I told you that it was God's doing that let them go, and it was God's doing that let it happen? What if I told you that you were about to enter into the best season of your life? That's what God told me. Even though it feels like it is the very worst, God is saying, but it's the very best. Because I make big moves in big messes. What if I told you that the big mess you're in is a big message that's about to take place in your life, and the testimony is about to be great? I keep hearing God says things are about to blow up. But what if I told you that it's hard sometimes?
Oh, it cut her off. But if she is telling me that, I am completely 100% receiving it. That is it, and that's all.
If your awakening started with sickness, that was not random. That was your soul's way of forcing a full body reset. Because when the spirit is out of alignment, the body will speak. You gotta know that in this realm, energy doesn't disappear. It stores. It stores in the womb, in the throat, in the joints, and your nervous system. And when you carry generations of grief, trauma, emotional suppression, that energy becomes illness. You were not just dealing with symptoms. You were carrying your bloodline silence. You know, the migraines, the fatigue, the hormonal chaos. That was your soul trying to purge what was never yours in the first place. You gotta know that chosen ones do not awaken through comfort. They awaken through the collapse. Your illness was the first initiation. Your body became a messenger. The moment you could not go any farther in the direction you were headed, your soul rerouted you. And here's the most sacred truth. Your birth chart shows where those imbalances live. Not just physically, but spiritually. It reveals the karmic cycles you were born into and the blueprints that you came to repair. So if you've been asking, why is my body attacking me? It's not. It's remembering. And when you're ready to decode the message, that's what I'm here for.
So let me tell you all a little bit of a story. I know you heard me mention 2023 earlier in this video. So in 2023 is when I started having like a lot of issues with my uterus and it causing other issues. And I've had fibroids for years, but they had never bothered me up until like 2023. So I ended up having the hysterectomy and had like a calcified fibroid that was probably like the size of an orange that they removed. But for whatever reason, when I was recovering, I feel like I called it an epiphany, but I feel like I had what was going to be the beginning of my awakening in 2023. So when she says that your illness is like, just paraphrasing, is what's catapulting you into your awakening, I am on her, like I'm vibing with her, for lack of a better way to say it, when she says that, because I feel like when I had that surgery is when all of this started happening for me. So yes, we are less than 2 years into this, but that is where it started from.
Being spiritual can feel like you're carrying the weight of the world sometimes. Being spiritual can often feel like you're more attuned to suffering, your own, others, the planet. You see pain where others may not, and that sensitivity can feel overwhelming. You feel a responsibility to do good. You may feel called to heal, help, and guide, and with that comes a heavy sense of duty. But spirituality isn't always light and love. Sometimes it involves shadow work, confronting traumas, breaking generational cycles, and transforming yourself. And that can be exhausting. That growth can often cause distance because people don't share your values or understand your journey. You can absorb energies around you, both personal and collective, without knowing how to filter it. Sometimes you just gotta let go. Sometimes you have to remember that letting go isn't giving up. It's trusting that life, spirit, God, and the universe will hold what you can't. It's releasing control and not surrendering to the illusion that carrying it all will save everyone. Imagine this. What if your soul is tired, not because you're weak, but because you've been strong in the wrong direction for too long? Think about it. Just remember, always give yourself grace. It's okay if, things feel heavy. That's the beauty of life. We get to experience not only burdens, but joy. We'll get to be happy. We'll get to experience love. We'll get to experience all type of different emotions. Always give yourself grace. And it's okay to feel, but don't live there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. His video, like, really hit me. Absolutely. That's too also like when you start feeling overwhelmed, and this is something, one of those other things that I need to get better with doing, that you should ground yourself. Because if other things are sort of weighing heavy on you because you have this sensitivity, whew, Lord have mercy. But they say go out, walk in the grass with no shoes on, touch trees, like literally do those things and ground yourself and meditate. Oh wow. Lamont or Lamonte Everett on TikTok.
Yeah, so if you go through enough pain, eventually that pain is going to get too much and you're going to start shifting your perspective and you're going to go start looking for answers. And that's normally is what triggers a spiritual awakening.
Succinct, but true. Because you go through these things and you want answers. And that did trigger the spiritual awakening. That definitely did trigger it.
Don't start your spiritual journey, bro. It'll have you so emotional. So just do it.
Just do it. he's going through it right now, and that's why he's saying don't do it. It will make you emotional, and his emotions are all over the place, and he's going through it. But that is part of the journey.
Pain is a part of the process. And I know that sounds uncomfortable to the average person. But I have observed, and I've been observing for years now, and what I've observed is that the true awakening comes through the pain, through the suffering, through the trauma, through the breaking and the healing, the repair process, you know. So there are some people that are having their awakening through mental breakdowns that are not necessarily triggered by a trauma, but just by a life that is uncomfortable and becomes more and more and more uncomfortable until they have this complete breakdown. But what I have found and observed is that those mental breakdowns are actually an opportunity for you to awaken and have that spiritual ascension.
Well, so yes, Pam, like, so we already discussed like what it means, like when your hands are itching, yes, the money meaning of itching. But now in this one, we're gonna discuss like what does it mean when your hands are aching? Yes, this is just as big, if not even bigger. Let's discuss it. So really quick, just like how we have the soles of our feet, yes, when you look at reflexology, you're gonna see stuff like this. But yes, just how we have the soles of our feet, we also have the soles of our hands. Yes, look at the tips, upper sinus. You see what I'm saying? You see where the neckline is, the shoulder line, your eyes, etc. Yes, it gets really deep. Now, the reason why I bring it up is because just like we have the soles of our feet, we also have the soles of our hands. Now you can see, but also what happens is literally if you ever feel aching in your hands, yes, like an aching feeling, usually don't last no more than 3 to 4 minutes. You see what I'm saying? If it lasts longer than that, then you definitely should seek medical attention. You see what I'm saying? But yes, the spiritual meaning of it is when you have that achy feeling in your hands, this is the soul's reminder to your body, because literally our bodies are aware. Literally, just how we have the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system, the heart beats on its own. We breathe naturally. We see naturally without even thinking about how to see. Just open our eyes. But yes, literally the body is aware of what it needs. And the beautiful part about it is it can even tell you exactly where it needs it. You see what I'm saying? Way before there was any doctors and hospitals, they were nothing more than herbalists, witches, and even in slavery, they had the mammy. The mammy literally took care of everybody. You see what I'm saying? The kids, the family, including the slave owners. Yes, they were herbalists, and they also knew how to read the body. This is ancient information. Some of y'all ain't even supposed to be getting this. You see what I'm saying? This is Pharaoh information, but I gotta give y'all this information because I love it. All right, so long story short, you see what I'm saying? Here's another picture, you know what I mean, in reflexology. So if you ever like actually like look at your hand and pay attention to where it is hurting, you see what I'm saying? Or where like you feel like that achy feeling, because it will literally, if you look up reflexology pictures, it will literally give you clear indicators on what you need to fix. You see what I'm saying? You're having liver issues. It'll let you know your pancreas, your colon, your intestines. You might need some ginger in your life. You see what I'm saying? Your bladder, you know what I mean? Like you might be in yellow and like your body's telling you, yo, that yellow is enough. I'm tired of it. You see what I'm saying? You need to kind of cleanse that. Your kidneys, your thyroid, even if your stomach hurts. You see what I'm saying? You can do something for that. You have an acid reflux. Your body already knows. Except if it's consistent and now you're starting to feel it, I wonder why. Except I don't wonder why. Your body's going to tell you why. You see what I'm saying here? So literally, this is another way that you can not only listen to your body, but also understand what it's trying to tell you. Let me get out y'all way really quick. You see what I'm saying? So yes, definitely pay attention to your body. So yes, to be straight up with it, you see what I'm saying? This is the soul's indicator to you. The soul is literally letting you know, yo, I need more attention over here, or I need you to eat a little better over here. You see what I'm saying? Or start looking up herbs that can help you with this. It's going to give you indicators before anything happens, before it runs out of complete chi, complete energy. You see what I'm saying? Complete life force. So before all that happens, the body literally gives you clear indicators. Now, whether we know how to actually read our own spiritual user's manual is on you. But that's why I'm here to help you facilitate that, because I love y'all. So once again, hopefully this helps. And just remember, if your left hand is aching and your right hand is aching, they're totally different. So make sure you go check out part 2, because if the top of your hand is aching and you see what I'm saying, the bottom of your hand is aching, those all mean different things. So we're really going to discuss it. And I actually got some very clear and pinpoint pictures to help y'all that I personally use myself. So definitely go check out that next video. Follow for more. Hit that like button. I love y'all. And also remember, if your hands is aching, you can look it up or go screenshot some of these pictures I just gave y'all, or also even in my next video. I love y'all, and I'm out.
He is spiritual.spooky on TikTok. I need to follow him as well. I have a couple of books, and I don't know if this is the same thing, but let me grab them. So I only wanted to share this because he was saying, like, find out the herbs that help with your ailments and stuff like that, and learn to eat better and live happier and all of these things. So I picked up, and one of these is a TikTok made me buy it type thing, but that is the Holistic Guide to Wellness, Herbal Protocols for Common Ailments by Nicole Apelian, who is a Ph.D. And inside of here, it'll tell you how to manage sleep and stress, how to detect thyroid issues, stress relief. It has a heart protocol, a rheumatoid protocol. It has all types of menopause protocol, brain and nerve. So lots of good information in this book. And then one that is more geared toward the African American healing tradition. It's called Working the Roots. And this one is pretty much the same thing. So in the beginning, it tells the stories of a lot of our ancestors and actually working the roots. And then on the inside, it'll tell you about like chamomile, garlic, flaxseed, bay leaf, all of the different herbs. It also gives you like different tonics. It can take in a heat, Epsom salt, fire water, and listen. And there is a lot of traditional things that we did in the past that sort of kept people healthy. So 2 good books to look up, and I will put links. There'll be probably Amazon links, and of course if you order I'll get a little bit of coinage, but I'll put links to both of those books in my description.
5 spiritual reasons of having back pain. PSA, like always, I am not a doctor. Go see one, please, if you have an issue. This is the spiritual meaning. So let's go. 1, you need to drop past baggage. In the 3D world, having back pain typically stems from carrying a heavy load. But spiritually, it means that you're holding a lot of emotional and mental baggage. If you're having back pain and been holding on to baggage from the past, guilt, remorse, then you may need to heal that first before you can relieve that pain. 2, you're working too hard and not seeing any results. You may also be feeling burnt out to the point of exhaustion. If this is happening to you, you may need to reevaluate your steps and heal yourself and take it easy. 3, you're holding on to too much negative energy and emotions. Just like any other physical issues that we're having, negative energy tends to bleed out to different places in our body. If you're feeling fearful, anxiety, depressed, any of those feelings, then you need to let it go and release it somehow, because it might be the source of your back pain. 4, you're going through a spiritual awakening. If you've been dealing with lower back pain or sharp stabbing pains in your back, this is kind of normal in a spiritual awakening. The reason behind this is because your body is tuning up spiritually. So there's going to be some aches and pains. Try to ground yourself and stretch or find some kind of outlet. 5, you have no support system. Whether you think you can do this all on your own and you don't want to ask anybody for help, believe it or not, having back pains is typically a sign from spirit that you need to ask for help. Though you can do it alone, it's not best to do it. Like always, I hope it resonated. Like, follow, and save, and share it to your spiritual friends who are dealing with back pain.
That's interesting to know that back pain is a sign from spirit that you need to ask for help. That's interesting. Of course, like she said, if you have any questions about it, if you think it's physically related, go see your doctor.
Weird physical sensations you might experience when you're having a spiritual awakening. Number 1, this is a strange, heated, burning sensation underneath the skin in different places. It may be in the back or the shoulders or the arms. What this is the fascia is letting go of a lot of trauma and exhaustion and stress all at once. And so you might feel this very strange feeling directly underneath the skin, but not quite into the muscles. The fascia holds on to a lot of our emotions, and it is suggested that the fascia is the place where our emotional body kind of lives. But you might feel that, and that is part of a spiritual awakening.
Okay, that's one symptom I have not experienced.
You ever notice how you're exhausted even on days you didn't even do much? No type of physical labor, you barely left the house, but you still feel like you ran a damn marathon. It is not stress, it is not depression, it is distraction. Your energy is currency in the system. And every emotion, fear, frustration, even scrolling guilt, it is feeding the loop, y'all. These platforms, they are not just watching you, they are reading you. Your facial expressions, your pauses, your scroll time, your energy spikes. Yeah. And the algorithm, it doesn't care what's good for you. It cares what keeps you reactive. The more emotionally hijacked you are, the more data that you produce. The more energy you give off, the more profitable you become. So even when you think you're doing nothing, your frequency, it is still working overtime for a system you didn't sign up for. And that is why grounding, breathing, and even boredom, it's revolutionary, because you're finally unplugging from the circuit. If this resonated, drop it in the comments. Then come over to Mike Therapy on YouTube. I'll show you how to get your energy back.
Follow Mike Therapy on YouTube.
A spiritual awakening, it's very confusing sometimes. And most of the time, it feels like your life is falling apart. You stop and question everything you have ever believed. You start realizing you were living on autopilot. You will outgrow people. You might isolate yourself. You're just unlearning who they told you to be and trying to remember who you actually are. It's not a straight path. It's death and rebirth. Once you wake up, you can't go back to sleep. That's what they don't tell you about spiritual awakening. Follow me to learn more about spiritual awakening.
Chosen ones, the pain didn't break you. It activated you. God works in mysterious ways. So the pain that you endured was all you needed to turn up. That's why you keep hearing me say in every video, let's go, chosen ones, turn up.
Turn up.
Have you still been experiencing pains and you don't know why, like they came out of nowhere? I've been to the doctor, they still can't figure out what it is. That's because it's spiritual. I already told you what it means when you're having shoulder pain. That's emotional baggage, emotional weight that you're carrying. I also talked about that lower back pain, them stomach flare-ups. That's due to instability and ignoring your intuition. Today, we're going to go a little bit deeper. You got neck pain, that's unspoken truth. I told you, speak up. You've been swallowing your voice and your spirit is tired of being silent. Your ankle's been feeling weak or randomly sore, that means that you're scared of moving forward. The only thing holding you back is you. Spirit is calling you to step out, but your body is resisting the leap. You got pain or heat in your hands, that is energy buildup from the gifts that you're not using. Stop playing with your potential. You're probably meant to heal with your hands like Reiki, massage, create, or write. Your body reminded you it's time to get to work. You got knee pain, that's your relationship with ego and humility. This means you either too prideful to bend or you too afraid to surrender. Which one is it? Random foot pain, that means you carrying ancestral weight. You walking paths that carry generational energy. But you're not clearing it, you just dragging it with you. This season is different, and these energies, the way you deal with them, it's a non-negotiable. It's not serving your highest good, it's being pushed out in real time. Sometimes pain is the push. Don't look at it as punishment. Look at it as like recalibration. If you learn to start listening to your pain, you'll start hearing the instruction.
You gotta pay attention. You already know if you want to go deeper, I'm offering body mapping services, so click the link in my bio. Let me just say this. Please be mindful that the Botanica page on Instagram is not ran by me anymore. The person who gets no clout on my page, I was running that page, still has access to that page. I was told people was being asked for money. That is not me. So again, please be mindful. I will never reach out to you in the DM. The only way to book my services is through my website. Just want to be real clear about that so y'all not sending your money getting scammed. Same goes for Facebook. Make sure you are on my real pages. I have two over there, a fan page as well as my main page. The main page has a blue check mark. As always, peace, love, and light, and gratitude for watching.
It's interesting to hear people's different perspectives about what pain in different areas mean.
I have been on my spiritual journey. And a part of it is healing. Cutting ties with stuff that's unhealthy for you. Whether it's people, friend, family. And it hurt. Trusting in God, leaning on Him sometimes hurt. Cause it's like, who am I leaning on? Sometimes I feel like you're alone. Sometimes you wake up in the middle of the night. You're crying out for answers. You're crying out and pleading, asking what's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? It's just like, sometimes you ask yourself, am I making the right decision? You don't know. It's just trusting in God. And I think, for me, that's the biggest thing that I'm suffering with. I'm suffering with that. Rejection. No. Not feeling loved enough. And a lot of it, honestly, it come from when you're a kid. Childhood trauma is real. As a kid, I didn't feel like I was loved enough. So in most of my relationships, I feel like I always like, do you love me? I always just want reassurance. And then cause I done been heartbroken, I done gave and gave. And it got me nowhere. I've been loyal. And it got me nowhere. Only in God's eyes, is good. In man's eyes, it means nothing. And I just feel like, nobody really wants to, just show that or talk about it. My childhood trauma has scarred me. I can't pick a good, healthy relationship. I mean, I can. It's just taking time because I never knew what love was from the jump. So, a lot of stuff I took, mistaken for love, and when it wasn't. And I think, a lot of people are suffering from that. And I tried dating women, men, still the same results. And I know I'm not an ugly person. I know I'm not. But you make you question yourself. Am I enough? Will I ever be enough? And I think that's the part that hurts. Because no matter who you're choosing, if they're not choosing you, then you're not enough for them. I'm learning that I'm worth so much more than what I allowed myself to be put through. I learned it. Even with trying to be a better parent to my children, I have to learn that I am enough. I'm a single mother by myself. I've been raising my kids on my own. And I'm not asking nobody to feel pity for me. But I'm just one person taking care of 3 people. And I thank God for letting me make it this far.
Wow. Yeah, she needs to know that yes, she is enough. And you have to love yourself first, girl. Wow.
Do y'all notice how every single time you start trying to level up by doing shadow work, journaling, meditation, cutting soul ties, you name it, here come all these damn aches and pains. Boom, your shoulders start acting up, your hip want to go left, your knees want to give out. If you anything like me, you been clenching for years, so you got jaw pain. But did y'all know this is not random? This is literally our body snitching on us. It's like your trauma hears that you healing and be like, oh really? Let me remind your ass I'm still right here. So if you got jaw pain, you've been holding or biting your tongue for years. It's time to clear that throat chakra. Time out for suppressing what you really want to say. Time out for smiling through that nonsense. Speak up. You probably got childhood secrets stored in them molars, okay? Let it out. Let me be clear, not to the point where you walking around being a mean girl or guy, cause ain't shit cute about that. Cause when you start doing that, you ain't doing nothing but projecting anyway. Go heal. Your jaw is where your truth sits when you don't feel safe speaking it. Just remember that. And like I said, I had to remind myself. Say what you mean and mean what you say. If you got pain in your right hip, remember that's masculine energy, forward motion. That's your go-get-it drive. When you got energy stuck or stored in them hips, it's like your body is saying, I'm stuck, I'm scared. Still walking with trauma from the last time I tried to move forward and got burned. Dragging fear energy through your roots and your leg. Got left shoulder pain, that's your emotional backpack. Remember, the left side is tied to emotions, which is feminine energy. 9 times out of 10, that ain't even your pain. That's probably your mama grief, your grandma's silence, great granddaddy's brokenness passed down to your ass. So again, the left side of your body is ancestral. That means your shoulder is saying, baby, I'm tired. I don't know if you noticed, but every time you set boundaries, here come that damn back pain. Or that neck pain when you're trying to move forward, but that tension and trauma keep grabbing your collar like, who you think you going? We got abandonment issues to unpack. Truth is, though, when you grow spiritually, your body don't just celebrate. It starts clearing memories, and memories live in the flesh. Your joints, and your bones, and your tissues. So just know when that one spot starts to flare up during a breakthrough. It's like your soul pulling out a file saying, this shit gotta go too. Don't forget this. Next time something starts hurting, just think about it differently and ask yourself, what am I letting go right now? A lot of times, your body is not betraying you. It's just finally releasing that weight that your body was strong enough to carry spiritually until now. I always tell y'all, our bodies are a roadmap. All you gotta do is pay attention. Y'all know if y'all need a palm reading, dream analysis, spiritual consultation. Due to the high demand, I'm finally adding body marking services. If you're interested in any of those services, make sure you click the link in my bio and head to the services tab. Or you can go to beautyoverage.store. As always, peace, love, and light, and gratitude for watching.
Did you know that you can actually have body pain when you're going through a spiritual awakening? My body was hurting so bad. My whole body was aching. My head was pounding, okay? And I had this low, like, buzzing sound in my ear for like 3 days. And it just sounded like I was like kind of like underwater. It was like for 3 days. Can you imagine The torture. 3 days. And then that's when I knew that my body was shifting to the vibration that I was supposed to be on. That was the first time I had ever had a spiritual awakening like that. You guys, let me know. Have you guys ever had a spiritual awakening to where your body was hurting? Usually it's just like I get the ringing in my ears and I might see something or feel something, you know, stuff like that. So let me know if you've ever experienced this.
So ringing in the ears, yes, but if I had that buzzing in my ears for 3 days, I would be on my way to the doctor's office.
If something bad is always happening to you all the time on repeat, no matter how good of a person you are, no matter how good you treat people, every single time you open up to people and give them your heart, they always break it and disappoint you. You keep getting fired from your job, society outcasts you, people are always testing you and fucking with you, your family turns against you, your friends turn against you. Bad things keep always happening all the time, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, no matter what's going on. Life just always seems to just spit in your fucking face. Do not think that you're cursed, or that you're being punished by God, or that the universe is against you or hates you, or that you're a bad person, or that you did something bad in the past life. It doesn't have to mean any of these things. All this means is that you're a chosen one. That's all it means. You have been picked and called this lifetime. You have a higher calling. So now you have to build a hate for this plane of existence so that you can elevate and spiritually evolve into your higher purpose. You have to build up enough hate for this earth that you're willing to do anything to leave this plane of existence. And I'm not talking about offing yourself. I'm talking about the death of your earthly consciousness, which is the birth of your higher consciousness, the death of the lower self, and the birth of the higher self. This is a karmic incarnation that you are in, and you are not cursed, and you didn't do anything bad in the past life. This is a blessing. You are blessed. You have been rewarded, but you cannot ascend with any earthly attachments. You can't ascend with trauma. You can't ascend with anything that attached you to this planet. Nothing. That is why Earth is making an earthly life undesirable, so that you don't have any more earthly desires, so that your desires elevate into spiritual desires, making you want to ascend spiritually. You must detach from this world and plug in with your oversoul. Karma is an equalizer. The only way to clear your karma is to detach from this world. And if you were born on the 13th, the 14th, the 16th, the 19th, the 8th, the 17th, or the 26th of any month, or the 4th, or the 22nd, you have karmic numbers as your birth number. And if you weren't born on any of those dates, or if you don't have that number in your life path number, or your name somewhere, you cannot ascend or reach a higher plane of existence, because you need karmic numbers and karmic vibration to ascend. Karma is an equalizer. Karma clears all attachments on earth. It is literally your boarding pass to ascension. And the only way to clear your karma is to detach from this planet. So once you disconnect from this physical reality in your mind, all the bad shit that's been happening to you will come to an end. The hell that you're going through right now is a fire that is burning all the impurities that is inside of you. And it's preparing you and preparing your vessel for heaven, so that when the fifth dimension gets here, you will be ready. Don't give up.
I don't know about y'all, but if all of that stuff was happening to me all at the same time, I would be running to my therapist. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. All right, Rudy Collective, we have come to the end of this video. If anything resonated with you, please let me know down in the comments. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when I have a new video coming out. Also, share this video with someone who is on their own spiritual journey or search for truth. And until next time, stay awakened and stay rooted. Peace.